Hello, everyone, and welcome to Permex Petroleum's brand new YouTube channel, where we will be giving updates about current events, the team, and company news. We are, of course, here with Mehran, the CEO, president, and director of the company. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you, Michael. Yourself?
Having a pretty good day. No snow on the ground. That makes it always good.
Fantastic.
So, we really want to dive into your background today. So, we want to talk about your education and your work experience that led you up to this point. So, let's start with your education.
Sure. So my background is actually finance. I have a master's in finance. It's an MBA with a specialty in finance. However, I have taken on a tremendous amount of courses within the engineering and geology aspects of the oil and gas industry without wanting to become a geologist, nor did I ever want to become an engineer within this field. My whole goal was to have a team of technical specialists with a significant academic and work experience background within this sector so I could bring on board, work side by side with them while pushing the company forward as management.
That's interesting. So you went into finance, but you kind of specialized in this field.
Correct. So the way we did things were, in the oil and gas sector, you need to be able to understand the geological aspects of the formations you deal with, the geological aspects of the areas that you go into. These always intrigued me. Especially the Permian Basin of West Texas and Southeast New Mexico has been the ones that have surpassed all other expectations within our field. As such, I made myself quite academically versed within this sector, within geology. From an engineer standpoint, it's a matter of going in and taking care of these wells, drilling, development, reworks, and there's a lot of technical background that goes into it from an engineering standpoint that I believe every single management team, not from just management on the C level, but lower levels, need to understand when they're a part of a team such as Permex.
Yeah, that's a good point. So then from there, let's go into the work you did before this. Like what other companies have you been involved with, et cetera?
So I started actually in private equity originally as an investor. Just like any other investor, I began investing in the oil and gas sector. I started doing some trades, some purchasing of direct participation programs. It began taking a whole different angle when I began doing DPPs. These are when you invest side by side with a company, a large cap, and you are actually obligated to pay any type of expense associated with future development. You learn quite fast. Originally, what I did was with ConocoPhillips, which is a major company. We started doing DPP. So on a small fractional basis, I would join in on their drilling programs as a side investor, very small. But once you start getting bills for $500,000, $600,000 every other month coming in on the working interest that you own, you tend to look at the numbers a little bit differently. You tend to learn. So that's originally when I started. Post that, I began doing limited partnerships, small junior limited partnerships in across the midstream sector. This is the pipeline and transportation sector. Typically in West Virginia with EQT. EQT was one of the largest transporters of natural gas pipelines. And this led me to a team of geologists and engineers that I met and started working with, as such of Dale Lee, Barry Whelan, Wayne Medova, which some of them are on the board of Permex as well. Through that, we created our own limited partnerships, small private equity funded projects, successfully went in, bought oil and gas properties, developed the fields, and then sold them. Once that was done and successfully passed, we started a different project, being Permex Petroleum. Permex was created on the basis of taking advantage of a low price environment when other operators had debt. We would go in and buy their fields when they could not service the fields anymore. And as such, our team grew. We reached a point that we decided to go public in May of 2018. We ended up going public through an IPO. And that is the story. Here we are in 2021. A lot has changed. A lot of things have happened, but we are still here and strong.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds great. So first off, that investing you're into is very different than the investing most people are used to when you're kind of footing the bill to some degree too.
It is. That is called direct participation. Again, originally it was just on the basis of doing stock investments and doing futures. But once you go in and start investing working interest ownership, that takes a whole different ballgame, and it requires you to be quite a bit of savvy, understandable investor within our sector.
Yep. And of course, it's good to hear that you've now been involved in this field for a while. This isn't your first rodeo with Permex. You kind of got this up from the ground up. That's good. So then, is there anything else you want to mention to people now before next week we decide to go into more of the company and what you guys do on a daily basis?
I think that speaks to it. It's a matter of how our team came to be through successful projects. Our team, again, myself was more from an investor standpoint than participating on management and looking for projects. Every single team member has come back from this as well. Some have worked with Gulf Oil, some have been with Exxon Mobil, some have come up in different areas, but we all came together to form Permex, and this is where we are. I think next week we should dive into the company and discuss details.
Awesome, Mehran. It's been great talking to you. If anyone has any questions, don't be afraid to leave the comment below or join the Telegram. We'll be happy to hear from you. Have a good day, Mehran.
Thank you. Have a good day.